Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
One seasonality that you probably all are aware of is in the grain complex. We plant in the spring, we harvest in the fall. And you've probably heard the term, the harvest lows are in. And if you look at soybeans, for example, and I've done extensive research and studies with this, soybeans tend to bottom in mid to late October. Well, guess what? There's an exchange-traded fund, a DBA, that one could look at that mirrors the price action of soybeans. More importantly, if you look even in my second book that I wrote about 3 years ago, Candlestick and Pivot Point Trading Triggers, in that book I gave the same scenario I'm going to give you right now. Soybeans tend to bottom in mid-October, and there's two companies. We'll make it three, but I'm only going to talk about two. One is Monsanto, and the other is Archer Daniels Midland. And I've been telling clients, and I've been doing it myself, and looking at the long side of those two stocks because, number one, they have a seasonal tendency to rise and bottom out in mid-October, going through year-end into February, in fact. And if you want to look at those two stock symbols, MON is Monsanto, and ADM, Archer Daniels Midland, you're going to say, wow, look at this. So it's interesting that we could say, gosh, I can look at seasonalities in so many different markets, but yet people don't. And stock traders, it's amazing because I talk to people, I say, you should be looking at some of these commodities, and they go, why? I'm a stock trader. Okay, but certain stocks mirror or trade in correspondence in like fashion with underlying commodities. And there is a strong seasonality with a lot of the commodities, and there's obviously a strong seasonality with the foreign currencies. And this will give you, the investor, whether you're a currency trader, whether you're a stock trader, you can still trade options on the euro currency and other products through the ISE. And using options, the best part is if you're a long option buyer, meaning if you're buying puts or buying calls, a directional trader, guess what? You have defined risk as well as unlimited, again, keyword, unlimited profit potential. In violent and volatile times, options are, generally speaking, overpriced because volatility raises the price of option premiums. But if you're expecting a wild move in the market, then are options really overpriced to be buying? Some people come up with strategies about buying the underlying and then selling calls as a bullish call right strategy. Unfortunately, if the market really takes off, that's not the best bullish scenario. There are other option strategies. So what you need to do is understand where has the market been and where could the market go in a prescribed period of time. And there's a form of technical analysis that can certainly help give you target prices to say, listen, in the next 30 days, this could be where the market could go. And the main analysis that I like to use for longer-term price projecting is pivot analysis. Now, I'm not going to really cover pivots today that extensively. Please go back and review the ISE's previous recordings, and they have a list of past recordings from other educators as well, which I think you'll find very beneficial and useful. But what I'd like to show you in today's presentation is just to briefly show you that, number one, if you look at a particular market, the first thing I like to do is say, okay, where has the market been longer term? In order to figure out where the market could go, I need to know where has the market been. So if you're a day trader or a swing trader using options or a position trader, the first thing you should really do is to uncover what the overall trend or direction or seasonality of the market is uncover where's the market been. Well, notice that this horizontal blue line kind of illustrates this is where the euro currency started at its inception around that 124, 123 area when it first launched. And it obviously traded down to around 82. It's traded up, back and forth. And notice that this area of point of interest from that, once we broke out of the high, we came back to test that blue line back in 2004. and I'm pointing to this area in here. Through this whole area, this is a huge area of consolidation. This is where we first started, and this is about the area that the market has bottomed out. So obviously, this is an area of an interest point that may cause the market to pause or stall or present ourselves some opportunities in the marketplace. Now, I want to show you something. At the end of the month of September, notice that if we're looking at seasonalities, we would have said to ourselves that sometime in the middle to the third week of October, which would be this time frame in here, we should look for buying opportunities in the market or a buy signal. What's interesting is some people may have thought that it was a little bit bullish back in September because the market, of course, can't go any lower, right? But this year, the seasonality really performed. And trading with the system, some of you that know my work, you may recognize this pattern up here that I'm defining in this box as a low close doji. This is a bona fide sell signal. The market closed below the doji low. Notice that the market has traded lower this whole time, and we are now generating buy signals or had generated a buy signal already. Trading on a defined set of rules. One thing that's interesting is you also are looking at some horizontal lines across your screen. At the end of September, using pivot point analysis, by taking the mathematical formula and applying it to the market, gave you what the potential high for the month might be and what the potential low might be. And if anyone said that at the end of September, that by the way, the market could trade as low as 125, you would have thought that they were smoking some kind of crack, because there's just no way that most people felt the dollar would rally that strongly and that the euro would fall that fast, especially since it had just come off 160. But here is an actual snapshot of a trading system and the fact that we are looking at the monthly pivot analysis. Now, this is this week, and I wanted to show you the ISE's Euro Currency Index. Again, it is not quoted like you would normally see, but I want you to see that pivots work both against the spot Forex, and here's an interesting tip, and a hot tip at that. This is a piece of golden information for you. If the Euro Index, notice that we do see some gaps in the market because it's not a 24-hour product like spot Forex. But you can use the information in spot Forex and trade the ISE options. Very interesting. So let's back up a second. And as a review, if pivot analysis is any good, it should work, or any analysis for that matter. I don't care what type of form of technical analysis you're using. If it's any good, it should work in various markets, in various market time frames, and under different conditions. So if pivot's any good, it should give us some idea, or at least show how it can kind of resemble market predictions or give us support and resistance targets as good or better or equal as it does with the overall market condition. And what you're looking at here is this particular week. I mean, this was as of this afternoon. Now, I want you to understand that at the end of the day on last Tuesday, the market was giving us a predicted high and a predicted low. And that's pretty much what the market did. Then it was still telling us that the market for the next day, here's what the potential high is, and here's what the potential low is. And again, at the end of the day, it predicted here's what the potential high might be. Yes, we went through it, but we didn't trade much above it. And here's obviously what the potential low would be. Now, that day was off on the low, but we gapped higher on the opening. And what that might do for you, number one, is if you are bearish in the market and you have a target of support, you have a potential profit objective saying to yourself, listen, if I am bearish this market, or in this case, bullish the euro currency, then I probably want to make sure I'm paying attention to these daily pivot numbers.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.